Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit freedomlovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. freedomlovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and all United States.fm network. The hour about love. I love this hour. I mean, I love them all. You know, first hour we talk about freedom and all these serious interviews. Second hour we go heavy on guns and, you know, gun rights and all this stuff. But this is the hour really that we reconnect to our humanity. Because at the end, I always say, you know, we got to be serious. We want to get involved, all these beautiful things. But if we lose our humanity, if we lose also the sense of pleasure of life, what we are fighting for? I mean, that's the bottom line. So I really say, you know, fight during the day, but at night, make peace, and more important, have fun, okay? And you know, I tell you, one thing really I believe that another aspect of love, it's the art. Music, painting, sculpture is an expression of our humanity. And I really like that because after all, we are human beings, you know. And, you know, animals, I mean, they're great things too. I like animals. But the difference between us and animals, that we can create also artistic things that they express our soul. And I tell you, a really beautiful thing that we are the results of our past. You know, every one of us, sometimes we don't realize it, but it's like in chemical, nothing gets destroyed. All transforms into something new, and sometimes can be better, sometimes can be worse, but I really believe we always have hope to improve ourselves. Now, wow, Luca, I said, what are you talking about? Yes, this is pretty much my rant for the day, for the final hour. But more importantly, I want to bring today an interesting guy, really interesting. He's an artist, and this time we don't need to go all the way back to, I don't know, Sweden or Germany or Italy. Normally, I like to bring international guests. I like to find local people too. We after all a local show, you know, 1340 AM. It's here, Mohave County, Needles, and all the area of Laughlin. But it is beautiful to find great minds that they express themselves and they also leave in a trace in history, because I think that's what art also allow us to do, to leave to behind us who we were, our expression of our feelings, of our humanity. So it's an honor, it's a pleasure to meet finally on the air with me a local artist that has been doing a great job the last few years, not just today. I mean, he's been around for a while. His name is Gregg Arnold. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luca.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. Hopefully you didn't fall asleep. Normally when I do my introduction, people fall asleep. So, oh my God.
No, it was great. And truly, our humanity is what makes every day joyous to be alive. And you're right, you do have to fight about some things. Unfortunately, there will be always some type of opposition in life, you know, no matter what it is. But you have to embrace the good, because the good outweighs the bad all the time.
Exactly. And I like the idea, you know, after all, everything is very serious, you know, because after all, our property taxes are serious matters, our freedoms is a serious matter, but sometimes we need to find a break, reconnect with our families, with our loved ones, and I believe, you know, that gives us the opportunity to also say why we are fighting, you know, and as I said, I like your art, because it's really something that is connected also to our reality here in Mohave County. I mean, when I look at your sculptures, and now we'll go into more details, it makes me feel really this is not just some art from somewhere. This is indigenous. It's created by a person who lived here, and I can feel that. Tell me a little bit about you as an artist. When did you start really to get... first of all, I know that you do different arts, but lately I know that you do mostly metal sculptures. Am I right or wrong? I don't want to...
Oh, yes, metal sculpture. That's really where my passion is. I prefer to do this than just about anything. There's not a day or a minute that I'm doing this that it actually feels like work to me. I enjoy it because you can take something that is just, chunks of metal or scrap, and make it into what I feel would be a beautiful piece of artwork, or something that spins in the wind, or something that's representative of, like you said, of Mohave County, our area, something that's indigenous to what we see every day.
Exactly. And by the way, speaking about Mohave County, I saw one of your latest artwork. Kind of interesting because, you got like, it is displayed in our county, Mohave County. Am I right or not? In the building?
Yes, it's right across. It's in the main vestibule when you walk in to the Mohave County Administrative Building here in Kingman.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing. And how did it happen, this connection? It's interesting. Normally the county, they're kind of, I never heard Mohave County be involved in Too Hard. That's kind of unique. Well, how did it happen, this connection?
It's really funny. Gary Watson, our big chief here, he had dropped off this giant slab of copper over to the turquoise mine, to Marty Kolbaugh, and said that he wanted him and me to work on an art project. They wanted a shape of Mohave County, and they wanted me to do that, cut it all out of copper, and then to have Marty put a, cover it in turquoise. And so right next to my building here is the Stutler Cabinet Company, and they do brilliant work with wood. Absolute, craftsmen. So I had an 1880s wagon, again, indigenous to the area, that was from here, and it was in our yard. So we had refurbished it. And so we had all this old wagon wood. It has tons of character.
Wow.
It's beat up. You could see spur marks. You could see all these things. So Stutler Cabinet made the background for it. Then the copper cutout went on that, and with the turquoise, and Chris at Chris's Auto Body had high glossed it, and so that's what's hanging in the administrative building. And I've had tons of positive response from it. It's because Gary Watson's vision, it captured what we have here, all these different elements. We have so many minerals here. We have so many different stones here. Mohave County has so much to offer. Excuse me. I wish more people would just come and visit and see it, because it's cheap to live here.
Yeah.
I moved here from New Jersey.
Let me before you go there, let me finish this, because this is very important. I tell you, I didn't know these details. To make it even more interesting, my opinion. It is not just you got some minerals and of course, but the fact that you also got this piece of wood, that it's kind of an ancient piece of wood for us, at least. It probably belongs to the time of the pioneers and the miners. And then all these. It really makes it special, in my opinion. And just
it does.
To complete, this is a donation or not? I don't want to assume. I'm not sure.
It was absolutely a donation.
Wow.
I love this county. I love this town. I try to do everything I can to make it more culturally aware, as you do, like reaching out to the whole world with your show, Luca. You're bringing what we have here to the rest of the world, and you're bringing the rest of the world to our area, and we really need that. We need that cultural awareness here.
Well, I love it here, and I'm really proud of you, I tell you, because as I said, the fact that also you did this as a donation out of your own time and energy, that's make it even more special. It's like this show is about love, and I believe in charity. I believe in love. I do not believe in government extortion. So when I hear the governments give you something free, it's not free. They steal from somebody else. But this is the true love that I appreciate. When somebody like you sharing what you do as an act of love to our community, to our county, that's beautiful. I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm so glad to do it. I'm very honored to do it, and to work with these other craftsmen here. It's a really wonderful community.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Now let's go back to you. When did you move to Mohave County, and where you were before when you were in Mohave County? Where you were living before?
I lived in New Jersey in a little shore town, and I'd traveled before, but I'd always get on a plane and then you get off a plane. Then I had a chance to go with one of my friends. He's an over-the-road truck driver, and he was going on a 5-week, it was an adventure to me, but it was of work to him.
Yeah.
And we went all over the U.S. And when we came through Kingman, I could not believe the amount of stars, because we came through at night.
Yeah.
And so he said we could just stay overnight here, which we did. And I went and saw a realtor the next day, and I over at Remax, and then went home. I put a for sale sign in front of my house. Then I moved right out here about 13 years ago.
Wow, 13 years ago. That was a couple years before I came here, something like that. It's interesting. It's true. The first time I came here, the sky was so blue. I mean, so beautiful. And the night, of course, full of stars. Something changed a little bit lately, but we will talk about this in a little while. Listen, tell me a little bit about, I know that you have a place where you display your art and people can see your creations. And by the way, I like the Giganticus. Hopefully I pronounced it right. I mean, this was the first time.
Giganticus Hedicus.
Yeah, the first time I found about you was about the sculpture. I said, wow, this looks like almost there are these in the island of I forgot the name, Eastern Islands.
I guess. The Easter Island.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same, but it's inspirational to that, no. And it's kind of
very
interesting.
Inspirational.
Yeah.
And where else to put it, but besides in Arizona on Route 66, right?
Exactly. And I was thinking about maybe 500 years from now, who come after us, they still find under maybe some pile of dirt, these Giganticus. They say, oh my God, what happened here? Maybe the people from Eastern Island came all the way. And they were like,
and they'll be like, well, what we understand is that the ancients used to worship these.
Even in Arizona,
there was just some guy from New Jersey.
Yeah, and they're gonna write a book about. So yes, we have a theory that the guy from from the Eastern Island went all the way to Arizona. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, how did you come up with that idea? I think it's kind of a very interesting concept. I like it a lot. How did you come up with this? Did you have a dream, or did you get drunk?
And that's basically how that happened. I had bought that property. It's at 9855 Route 66.
Yes.
There's a big A-frame building there that has like a food in it and stuff like that. It's another visitor center for anybody who wants to stop in.
Yes.
And the property just seemed to be missing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I just saw this. I just slept on it, and I guess like you said, I dreamed about it. And I woke up the next day. I didn't even draw a sketch of it because I saw it so clearly in my head. Then I just started to make it, and it's all made from metal and wood and cement.
Yeah,
so,
it's amazing. It's funny because I wasn't kidding when I said you have a dream, because normally when I write my songs, I dream about my songs. I have the melody coming out while I'm dreaming, kind of a visionary stuff. So I understand. It's very unique. Even I'm not in art like you, but I do mostly songs. No. But I paint once in a while. But I really understand the way you feel, and I like that. I feel like some sort
music
of,
music is an art form. I enjoy it. I've never been able to play an instrument, so I'm very jealous about that. And that's truly a gift that you have.
Thank you. And we gotta get together. I like to do. Maybe we can do. I don't know, a multimedia. I bring some. I'm writing some. I call them spaghetti western songs. When I was in Italy, I used to.
Cool.
I used to dream about coming to Arizona. It is not just. Didn't happen by accident. I used to watch all these Sergio Leone's movie. They were made, of course, some in Italy. Some were made also in Apache County. And I always wanted to come to the Wild West since I was a child. And finally, I made it all the way here. So I like spaghetti, though. I'm Italian food-like. I like the so I mix the Western with the spaghetti, and I have a collection of songs called Spaghetti Western instrumental songs. I need to give you a copy. So maybe when you play some of your, when you display some of your art, maybe you can put some of these spaghetti Western songs
I'd love to do that. That would be great.
That would be fun.
And how long have you been here, Luca?
Well, I came here 2005, escaping from California. My last step was Apple Valley, and of course was planned because I knew that somehow I wanted to come here one of these days, but thank God, things work out even faster. And I tell you, I love it. Since the first time I came, even when we have problems, at least we can work around problems, we can fix problems. I always wish, our government can get better, and I know can be better. We work hard, at least we have a relationship. We can talk to them, even in our local government.
Right.
We have some sort of an opportunity to, let's say, give them our feedback. In many other states, you can't even talk to your supervisor, seriously. So it's a beautiful place. I love it here. It can be better,
Right.
of course.
Me too.
But,
Everything could always be better, and I do believe that they are doing what they can to improve that. Because, like you said, you can talk to our supervisors and stuff. Like Jean Bishop, she's always on Facebook. And she always says, "Oh, if anybody have any problems, any concerns about this," so people talk to her about the roads and whatever else. And I think they're doing a much better job, and I think social media is helping to expedite that.
Oh, I agree. It's at least we have a great opportunity here to make things better. And meanwhile, it's always better than many other places. I've been around before I came here, and I tell you, people sometimes look at me like, hey, you live in the middle of nowhere. Guess what? I could live anywhere I want, and this is where I choose. And I love it. I tell you. And the opportunity that you have also to be free still, don't get me wrong, there's still some sort of a government we need to deal with. But when I go, for example, even just to Phoenix, it's still Arizona, I feel like I need some medication pills just to calm down, because I go crazy down there.
The traffic,
everything.
people.
And even the way the police treat you and everything else. Here is much more relaxed, I can drive around, of course, like normally we do. I get pulled over by the DPS, and I got my AK-47 on my side and my guns, and they don't even bother, it is it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. I love this place. And I'm glad that also, people like you are here, because you're bringing the name of Mohave County around the world with your art, and that's what we need to do. It's a great place also to buy land. Come on, guys. Seriously, we got.
It's so inexpensive.
Yeah, it's still don't give them that, because then the county supervisor, especially the Department of Taxes, they're going to increase the property taxes. Okay, but yes, it's cheap.
The property is just the right amount.
You need always to complain a little bit. Otherwise, they're going to say, you see, they are pretty happy, the slaves. Give them more taxes. No, listen, compared to other parts.
That'll take the smile up.
Yeah, compared to New Jersey or New York or California, we still have it better. But I tell you, we need to work for less, and the idea is always to keep government at the minimum. So government doesn't control us, but we the people, we are the government. That's the idea. But anyway, listen, that's great. I want to ask you something now. First of all, give again, you have a website or a place where people can find your art, because it's hard to describe art over the radio, but I'm sure there is a way people can find what you do on a website or something.
Yes, I'm on Facebook as Gregg Arnold, and that's Gregg Arnold. And you can find all my artwork there, and also Antares Art Gallery, Antares Art Gallery. And that's also on Facebook and the .com. So, but on Facebook, I upload stuff every day, sometimes a few times, and it's harder to do that with the website. So I'm very easy to find on Facebook. And also, one of the things that I like doing as far as art is doing props and practical effects for movies. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I was able to bring 2 different movies here, Drafted 2035, which just shot, and another movie called Protocol 734, which you can find on Amazon. Wow. They were both shot locally here. And I do believe that we have so many different types of great rock formations and desert, and up in the Wallapies you have pine trees. There's so many different things people can film here and photograph here that I believe that this is a great marketing place for Hollywood and whoever else wants to come and make a movie. This would be a wonderful place to do it.
Yeah, and the costs are still affordable. This is not like Hollywood. You got a bunch of unions, things like that. You can work freely. You have a right to work, and right. You can give an opportunity to local people to get a job, at least to get some good experience. And I think it's
exactly. Exactly. And to have a chance to do something they wouldn't ordinarily have a chance to do. And so in this way, it does bring Kingman all over the rest of the world.
I agree. That's beautiful. Give me again, please, the name of the movie. I want to get it. Protocol what? Give me the name of the protocol.
Protocol Yeah, the one movie that's out now is called Protocol 734. I did props and practical effects for that, and I starred in it as Sheriff Jim Mackey.
Okay, I see. Okay, I want to buy the DVD. 1 second. I see it here. Protocol 734.
Yeah. Please, everybody go on Amazon, watch it, and rate it, and leave a comment. The comments are hilarious so far. People are saying, "Nuke this movie. This is destined to be. This movie's so bad, it's good. It's destined to be a cult classic."
Exactly. No, you know what I like? I like give you an idea. Steven Seagal, that is so bad in the acting and all these things. It's so corny and so full of himself that I buy every DVD he does. Okay,
but they're great.
Exactly,
they are so bad they're good. I love movies like that.
Me too. And I don't know, maybe it's great. I never really watch it, so I want to watch it. Yes, but regardless, the fact that even if it was so bad, I think it's gonna be great. At least you can laugh and have some fun. But I think even just for us, we live in Mohave County. If I can look at an artist like you in the movie, I like to support him. I don't care how bad or good it is. But more important, I like to see that, hey, this is where I live. And I like to see the scenery and this part. It made me feel like almost, it's part of us. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm going to get it now while we're talking. I multitask. I'm doing this now.
Terrific.
And by the way, I need to go to Antares because I have there like a little 40 acres down there. I need to go visit it. I need to stop and see your place. I really would like to get you there.
Oh, do that. And so I'm not out there too much at the home of Giganticus Heticus. It is open every day, though. The owners of the Grand Canyon Caverns have leased the place, and they have food there.
Okay.
They have. They're going to have live entertainment. They're setting up the stage now, and Bridget Langston is going to be playing there.
Okay, great.
And she is one of the best entertainers in all of Mohave County.
Wow.
And that's why she is in so much demand. So they're very lucky to be able to have her there.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm glad that. This is great. I like music and art together. It's going to be a very great place. I can't wait to go there and see the place.
Oh, and yes, and as you know, you have 40 acres there.
Yeah.
Just how beautiful it is. And that is a federally protected view.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And there's very few of those, so nobody can put up antennas and all the other things that can ruin it. So the way you see it now is the way people have seen it since the beginning of time.
Wow, it is true. I have some of the most beautiful photos I took there. It looks like almost we are on another planet. Seriously, I mean, it's very beautiful.
It really does.
I'll post the photos so you can see it. By the way, now talking about photos, I really like when Facebook gives us the opportunity to know each other, even without spending time with each other. That's one of the things we can use Facebook for, is the social media. Sometimes we don't have time to meet in the real world, but we can know each other a little bit. You got an interesting photo of yourself. Looks almost like Fabio or something, even more, I don't know, looks like almost Arnold Schwarzenegger mixed with Fabio. You are like a bull there.
That was...
What's the story with that?
Well, I've lived many, many lives, Luca. Back then, I was very physically fit. And it was in the 90s. I had long blonde hair like Fabio.
Yes.
So that was my look. And they used to hire us, being I was on the East Coast, they would hire us to go on to different talk shows with no shirts on and stuff and escort women out. So there was like it was great. They even flew us out to be on like Jenny Jones and
wow.
When Danny Bonaducci had a show, I was on that. And Richard Bay, I was on tons of these. And so the other day, I posted a picture that I had found from back then, and I guess that's what you're referencing. And it's so nostalgic to me because we had so much fun, and everything was just such an adventure, and everybody listening out there, your life too can be an adventure.
Yeah.
Just embrace it. You want to do something, just do it.
Exactly. And I agree with you. That's beautiful. I completely understand. And I think, what I'm going to do now, if you allow me to, since we have many of our listeners, they're ladies out there. And I think, it's beautiful to have, the pursuit of happiness is also enjoy life with your eyes. Okay. So if you allow me, I would like to post your photo on lovegunsfreedom.com for this Sunday. Can I do that?
Sure.
Perfect. So you can see, I will post two photos. One as the artist, seriously dressed with, the supervisor, things like that. And then I'm going to put a wild version of Gregg Arnold. Okay, I think it's great. Probably ladies.
Oh, that was great. What a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's back when I was a stripper.
That's great, Lisa. This show. What I like about our show here. Even and of course the show pretty much is representation of my beliefs. I am very conservative when it comes down to small government, taxation, and of course the individual rights. But I'm very libertarian when it comes down to private life. And as I said, I don't judge anybody because nobody has made us God, and we have the right to live our life the way we wish and we want. At the end of the day, all we have to do is just respect others, and we should be free to do whatever we want. That's the philosophy of the show. So that's what I like about you. You do what you feel like, and it's great. You are not shy, and nothing wrong, by the way. It's a great job. When you're a young guy, you have a good body like yours, and you can make some money. What's wrong with that? So that's the bottom line. You're supposed to be free to do whatever you want until, of course, you infringe on somebody else's rights. And I always say to other people that try to always bring, their, let's say, morals or whatever, or try to judge others. If you really follow Christ, okay? Christ said, don't you dare to judge others until you see that you have the log into your eyes. Seriously, because that's the really one thing. Sometimes if I want to be, I don't want to say honest, I'm always honest, but I want to be a little straight when it comes down to small communities, even in big, but normally small communities more. People have the tendency to judge a little bit too much their personal lifestyle or others, Oh, you're not married. Oh, right. You go with two women. Oh, gosh, you go with men. Whatever, it's my business. Did I ask you something about your life? Mind your business. That's my bottom line. Anyway, so that's the story. But now, coming back to us, I told you my little secret. I don't know if it is not a secret. When I came to...
Which is fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to see those pictures on Sunday.
So it's fun, and spirit also top it's work. I believe in capitalism, in free enterprise, and everybody has different skills. Of course, when you're young, you got different skills that you don't have when you're old. And I was a little younger, and I like to cook. I like to, of course, dress like a Roman gladiator, and I was a real gladiator.
What's not to like about that?
Yeah, and also I like to sing serenades, so it was a perfect combo, and that's what I used to do before I started my other business.
Oh, yeah, the perfect accent for it.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Now,
so I'm sure the women went crazy.
Well, it was fun. At least, it was a good way to pay bills. Now, back to us. Serious stuff. Not because this is not serious, but things that unfortunately bring us a little back to what we're supposed to do during the day. We were talking at the beginning. Try to be active, involved, to try to make things better. And the reality is that governments in general, they always been proven to experimenting on civilization. On civilians. Especially in America, but also in other countries, without their consent. We have a lot of declassified documents out there, at least the last 50 years, the New York subway experiment with germs, the, different things happen in different states, Washington, San Francisco, germs released from Navy, serious stuff. But without going too far, all we have to do is look at Mohave County, 50 years ago or so. Now, many of these people, they were somehow complaining about what the government they were doing secretively, doing nuclear experiments just north from here, not that far from here. And many of our people who came before us in this community are dead now. And they used to call it...
They were called the downwinders.
The downwinders. So,
right. And see, I'd heard about that, but I didn't know any details. I'm learning more about it right now from you than I've known the whole time.
Man, so it's a serious stuff, so much that now there are bills in Congress that they also did pass to try to give at least part of the medical expenses or even just the burial expenses, because many of these people, they are dead with cancer, so there is not much you can do anymore. But they said this 50 years later, took the time to finally admit it, and finally it was too late. So that's the reality. Now, the last few years, we notice that even if you are not a doctor or a PhD or some sort of a scientist, just a regular person like me, can raise the eyes to the sky and see that there are like hundreds of airplanes out of the blue that normally they don't come here, and they start to fly very low, and they crisscross each other in a very geometrical pattern, and the sky that normally is very blue here, we don't live in some sort of a smoggy area, becomes completely white. And they call this, we know that, weather modification, geoengineering, that we have now evidence on video beside the documents that you can find on the different websites from the government. And I will send you a link on a page that I have on lovegunsfreedom.com, where you can see all the different links to different governments' website, where you can download documents from different researchers. And one is the latest one. It's from the Arizona.gov website, where everybody can apply for just $100 or so for a permit to do weather modification. So it's funny.
Wow. And what would you do? Like, let's say, okay, somebody goes there and they pay their $100 for the fee to modify the weather. What would they be able to do? Well,
there are different levels, of course. You know, the lowest level is people, for example, that they want to try in agricultural world to try to manipulate the weather for, you know, the crops and things like that. This has been done for a while. Okay.
To help it rain.
Yeah. There is a problem, though. You know, when you play God, there is always some, you know, you're a human being. You're not God. You make one thing right and you may make two things wrong. First of all, whatever you put in the air, they are not like vitamin B or healthy stuff. They are still chemicals. They're still sort of things that don't belong in our bodies. For example, salts of barium, of aluminums, and silver, and there's an oxide, or different things that they are really also considered from different agencies like the EPA bad for your health. So that's one problem, number one, that we need to understand. And problem number two, you know, you start to manipulate the weather in one area and you create a vacuum in the next area or the area next to you, that probably they get now no more water. I mean, think about that.
Because it has to come from somewhere.
Exactly. There is always balances that you're going to somehow change. But the point is also beyond the agricultural situation. We go now to a level that this is also being used for military implications. But regardless what it is, we have the right to know. And they've been denied this over and over. And now finally there was the first attempt to try to, let's say, minimalize all this, because, you know, even after when the slaves start to smell there is something wrong, after a while we've been barking for many years, not just us in Mohave County, but this is happening everywhere around the world, at least in the Western world. Now they start to give us some sort of pacifying answers. For example, I will play also on the show, if I can today again, this short video from the former CIA director that was under the Obama administration at one of these meetings under at the, I think it was a CFR, Council on Foreign Relations meeting, that he talks and he admits why we have to use weather modification to fight global warming. And by the way, for me, global warming is another scam, or at least it's being created by the let's say, governments to create this idea that we need to be taxed just because we breathe. But that's another topic. We can argue about that. But the point is, they're admitting it. They're using this weather modification. And now the point is still we have a lot of our local politicians at state level, local level, even of course they have no authority to change it or fight it, but still they have the moral duty to at least speaking about that. And of course in our Congress, they have been told to shut up. Nobody's allowed to talk about this. So it's a big conspiracy, but it's real. What do you think about this? What is your opinion about weather modification / chemtrails?
Well, as you pointed out, it's undeniable at this point because they're even saying they're doing it. So I see. There has to be so many layers to this of things that we will never hear about or understand. Like they might be doing it for all these other reasons that we will never even know. Mm-hmm. But yet I wouldn't say we're benefiting from it, but maybe we are. Maybe it's preventing something from happening. I'm not sure. I'm really not. Do you think that's why we have so much rain this year?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's not normal. The rain we had, it's very abnormal. But regardless, don't you think government?
Yeah, I know people. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Go finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
I know people who've lived here their whole lives, and they said they have never seen it rain the way it's rained here this year, because usually it'll monsoon and then it dries up just like it never rained. We've been getting rain here, like just an actual rain, like I used to get back in New Jersey, or they get in Portland and stuff, like an actual rain that lasts for hours, nothing that makes floods and all these things. And it's something that people really aren't familiar with here.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. It's very different. And as I said, even if they're using it for a good cause, okay, there's still repercussions because, first of all, whatever chemicals they spray in the air, we breathe it. It is in our food. It is in our water. And we have the right, we're supposed to have the right to choose, to at least be informed, and we can say we want it or not. Because the problem when governments start to go above the people and they don't even have the, let's say, the freaking audacity to say, I want to inform you what we're doing and also we want to let you know what we're doing, that's completely an act of tyranny. Because they treat us like we're a bunch of cows and say, shut up and eat, and then I kill you if I have to. Because that's the problem that I have. Even if they have the biggest, the goodest, the best reason, I know goodest is not English, but the best reason for our, that's the way I talk.
Your English is much better than my Italian.
But anyways, so my point is we should have been informed. That's a fact. But let me play 1 second this. This is a CIA director. It's a very short clip. 1 second.
Another example is the array of technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering, that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change. One that has gained my personal attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures and providing the world economy additional time to transition from fossil fuels. This process is also relatively inexpensive. The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly. As promising as it may be, moving forward on SAI would also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change effects, such as ocean acidification, because SAI alone would not remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere.
This bastard, is so unbelievable. First of all, to implement this plan, they are creating more emissions because there are hundreds, if not, no, there are thousands of airplanes flying all over the North America, just here, that they are creating really a gas emission out of control. Every time one of these commercial jets goes in the air, that's like, wow, right there. But the most important thing they forgot to tell us that let's look at what type of elements they are spraying. And as I said, we did an experiment just a few years ago. Did you watch the video I sent you about barium in our blood?
I didn't get a chance to yet. I'm certainly going to.
Yeah, that's the serious stuff. The problem is, I want to be sure everybody's listening here in Mohave County. This is not just Mohave County. This is happening right now in New Zealand. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in Rome. My mom has witnessed this.
Wow.
It's insane. There's just some part of the southern hemisphere they don't do this. But the point is, this stuff that they're spraying in the air, we're not really allowed to know everything, but we know part of it. Salts of barium, there's something that is bad for your health. Aluminum, you will be surprised how many people now that are getting dementia. It is not an accident, okay? Because you got aluminum in your brain, you get stupid, okay? And more important, look how many respiratory problems.
You can't get that out. You can't. There's nothing you can do to detox metals out of your brain.
Exactly. So even if they had the best reason, let's say they want to save us from global warming, by the way, I still believe it's a scam the way they're doing it. They're pumping it up to create a global taxation on humanity. But regardless, that's not the way you're going to solve a problem when we're all dead. Because they're going to say, let's say they stop the global warming, meanwhile we're going to all get dead, killed or by cancer or emphysema or, just dementia. So I hope maybe one day, you're a very busy guy, but if you can maybe get even more informed into this, and maybe, through art, we can reach out more than sometimes people talking, and maybe you can do something that would represent what you learn, what you discover after your research about what they're doing to us around the world, but especially now here in Arizona with this.
I wonder if I could make make a metal sculpture that incorporates like a little vial that can capture the rain, and it has like a little tester in it, and it shows you if the barium or the aluminum or whatever is in it.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. That would be interesting.
Really, that might be a very cool thing to make.
Yeah. And I tell you, bringing awareness, that's all we can do right now. I mean, my job, even it's a local radio show, I'm trying to talk about this over and over, and I saw many people change their mind after all these years when we bring evidence. And as I said, nothing wrong to be ignorant. We're all ignorant at some times. That means we don't know things. But when you are arrogant and you've been given the facts, and you know in the deepness of your heart that what is true, but just because you're afraid, and of course I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about some people out there, especially we have people in the public figures that they are, for example, our leaders, and they're just afraid that they can be ridiculed or stuff like that. That's sad, because this is more beyond politics. This is about the future of our generations to come, also our future, because a lot of people that are getting really sick here. And we gotta do something, man. That's why I say I'm glad that you have an open mind. At least you can maybe look at the evidence. I will send you some more links, and I want you to watch the video, because I tell you, we did a scientific approach. We got 15 people, mostly from Mohave County, but spread around from Bullhead, Kingman, and Golden Valley. And we went to the lab and we draw blood, okay? And we asked for 2 tests exactly. One was for barium, salts of barium, another one was for aluminum. There are elements that normally in your regular blood test you never gonna have a chance to do research. Anyway, 90% of us came back with the paperwork from the doctor with our blood level with barium between 1,000% above the maximum and 100% above the maximum. It was a big, and people say, "Oh my God!" I remember, for example, former Arizona Representative Nancy McClain, she was trying to play it down. Must be you guys in Golden Valley, you water all. First of all, guess what? This was between Kingman, City of Kingman, Water Municipality. They don't water all. It was from Bullhead, was from, of course, Golden Valley, and we have our water tested. We have also people from Texas. So the funny thing was that this is not about water that we drink. We cut that off with science. We did the water test. There is no barium in our water, and also it wasn't about food. I remember Mohave County, they were trying to. There was the board of the health department. The big explanation was because probably you eat too much of Brazilian nuts. We don't eat any Brazilian nuts here, okay? So anyway, the only thing is that they're nuts. So anyway, they were trying to play us down. At the end of the day, it wasn't the food, wasn't the water, and I don't have all the answers. But the only thing I was left was what is in the soil or what is in the air. And we know that what they're doing in the air comes down on the soil, and it's not just happening just here. That's why I want to be sure that even people think, oh my God, we try to put a black mark on Mohave County. No, it's everywhere. California, New Jersey, Texas, Montana, everywhere in the 50 states, they are pounding the crap out of us. And so even Canada. Okay, so that's the bottom line. So I want to share this with you, because I know you're a smart guy. You know more than many other people about many other issues. And I think maybe through your art, after you do your research, you can bring some awareness. I would love that.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're bringing awareness about this. This way, all the ladies have the next generation of strippers and Roman gladiators. Otherwise, where would they be?
Exactly.
So we have to keep everybody as healthy and aware as possible, and maybe it'll help change some of what they're doing and what they're putting in their cloud seeding stuff or whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I want to give you the floor. I want you to close whatever topics you want to close with. Could be give again your website or next project you're working on. You got the floor.
Oh, thank you. And again, I'd like to thank you, Luca, for having me on. It's been terrific. I love your show. So really, I just wanted to talk about my website. That's AnterisArtGallery.com. But please find me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I'd love to be your friend. That's Gregg Arnold, Gregg, Arnold, Arnold. And we're right here in Kingman. If you get a chance, come visit. We're at 416 Route 66, right across from the county building. and has a giant dromedary camel out in the front out of metal that I made.
Perfect. That's great. Listen, okay, I want to see you in person, probably maybe at the Antares or somewhere, and I'll bring you some of my CDs. Hopefully, you can enjoy them. Listen.
Oh, that would be great. I'd love that.
Thank you. Now, don't go away, guys. I have a little bit more to close this today's show, and then I'm gonna give you some final news about what's going on next week. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Do not go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we are back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the final hour, the hour about love. The commercial that you just heard, this little, promoting my CD and what I do, stuff like that. The voice of the commercial belonged because it's past, to a man who unfortunately is gone. I just had the sad news that he was gone while he was sleeping just a few days ago. His name is Dave Hayes. He was also the former owner of KTOX. And there's a little story about this, because there is some humanity here. There is some love, seriously. First of all, if it wasn't for him, probably I wouldn't be here. Probably I wouldn't be close to any microphone. I never thought in my life I was going to be a radio host. Seriously. I have many other things I'm doing, and sometimes I look at myself and I look at limitations. Even sometimes people can see in my limitations some sort of unicity or whatever. I mean, with my accent, with my grammar, I say, what? Me on American broadcast station? Are you kidding me? But he gave me the opportunity. He also gave me the encouragement, honestly, because I wasn't sure. The point is, we're all gonna be gone. I'm not here saying, feeling sorry for him, because I feel sorry for us who is left here behind. Seriously, I believe Dave is in a better place. But what I look at this is like a lesson. Me and Dave, we never really went along politically. We were like alpha omega, let's put it this way. I like him as a human being, though. I really do. I enjoy his company. He's a fun guy. He was a fun guy. I love his music. But politically, we were like kind of, pretty much, he was always chewing my butt. And that's fine. But one thing I learned from him, first of all, to respect each other. Number one. And that was the most important thing. I already wanted to respect each other. I wasn't like a jerk, but still. He gave me the opportunity that really also his creed is still here on this show. The system of the show, it works that I welcome everybody. I respect everybody who respect me and others. Simple as that. I have no censorship. You may agree with me or not, that's fine. I want you here. I give you the microphone, okay? And that's the bottom line. That's the spirit. And that's also the spirit, in my opinion, of Dave Hayes. He always fought for freedom of speech, no matter what. He helped me out when I was suing Mohave County a few years ago for denying my freedom of speech in Mohave County. He was the only one really in the county here with his station to talk and let me talk and expose what they were doing. So my point is this, guys. We gotta learn from these situations, because life is precious. Can be gone anytime. You never know when it comes. You leave in the morning, you're going to work. Oh man, don't be so sure and arrogant that you will be back home. Maybe you should give a little kiss to your son or to your wife or to your mom. Maybe you should make up if you were a little mad, because don't be so sure you're going to be back home, or you will be back, or you'll be around next hour, next second. It is not up to us. Dave Days died in his own bed, with his mom. And for what I understand, he just said, "Mom, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep." He had some medical problems just a few days before he was back from the hospital. And he never woke up. Honestly, I wish to be so lucky the day I go. To stay with my family, my home, and go away in a peaceful way. So I give him that. At the same time, I want to say something here, very important. I noticed lately on my Facebook friends, on my Facebook page, that I've been posting a lot of different things. Among those, beliefs, creeds, faiths. I love to study. I love to read. I love to read everything. I can read a Mormon book. No, I'm a Mormon. I'm not a Mormon. I can read a Muslim book. I'm not a Muslim. I can read Mein Kampf by Hitler. I'm not a Nazi. I study and learn everything. That's what I like. As a human being, I treasure. I'm thirsty for learning. I have my own beliefs. I call it faith. I don't even believe in religion. I believe in faith. Difference that faith is personal. It's a connection between me and my God. And I'm not going to try to preach you or others what I believe. It's my own journey. I have not the arrogance or tratocance or hubris to go out and tell you what to believe. It is your journey. Otherwise, what would be the freedom? You should be free to choose. Maybe I may lead by example. I try. But I know that I'm not even such a perfect example. I'm a regular guy. I got my own limitations. I got my own sins, whatever. I'm just trying to do my best. But one thing I demand to my Facebook friends, especially on my wall, I've been reading, I've been posting that I've been learning lately a book from another belief, another religion. In this case, is a book that belongs to a Norse, from people from North Europe belief. They call themselves heathens. They call themselves pagans, mostly heathens. They believe in Odin, different gods, fine. I've been reading some of their books, and I find them very interesting from a point of view of not just historical, also from wisdom. Yes, wisdom. There is so much wisdom in everything. You don't need to believe in their religion. So anyway, the book is called the Havamal. My point is, I found, of course, that people out of the blue start to judge and, profess themselves the final authority on deity, on gods. And of course, that I should even read those books. Because after all, how dare be contaminated by these books. You know what? F you. Let me tell you again, F you, and that's all I can tell you on the radio. Because the bottom line is very simple. I'm not here, let me articulate briefly. I do not claim to be a good Christian, never said that. I do not claim to be good at anything. I just claim very simply, I hope you can put it in your ears, that nobody has the, I don't know if I can say, GD right to judge me for who I am, for what I read, and who are my friends, especially on my Facebook page. I'm not judging anybody else. I'm not judging you. I demand the same thing from others. That's for sure. And this also, at the same time, I welcome on my Facebook page everybody who respects who I am and respects my friends, regardless they believe. I have only one exception, of course, guys. You know that. I do not condone beliefs that are based on coercion and violence. There I draw the line and you become my enemy. Every time somebody is trying to put violence on coercion, we are not friends. Exception. Hope is clear. I call brothers everybody else. If you believe in freedom and the rights of the individual, I don't care your color, I don't care your belief. You can believe in the moon, who cares? It's your belief. Simple as that. But if you believe that your religion gives you the arrogance and the authority to judge me or to tell me what I should read, what type of moral life I should have, what type of friends I should have, I want to remind you very simply that my conversation will be limited by two simple words. One starting with the letter F, and the other one will end with the letter U. But technically it's a Y, not U. Anyway, hope is clear. Simple as that. You don't need to be around me. I don't need to be around you. But stop being an arrogant prick. Because that is disgusting. Seriously. I cannot believe it. I post my simple post just saying, wow, I'm reading this interesting book from, Norse culture. Very interesting. Great, let's say wisdom. You can read wisdom. You don't need to be religion. Immediately, you see these wannabe preachers, the last minute preachers, put their freaking hat and start to completely give, judgments to me and others. How dare you? I may be not a good Christian, but I remember Christ, one thing I remember, said, before you judge others, look at the log that you have in your eye. Look at the piece of wood that you have in your eye. Seriously, disgusting. But that's okay. That's why we are here. We try to engage each other. We try to help each other. And I always try with first, with the reason, with politeness. Even I sound a little harsh, but I'm polite. This is my polite way. You don't want to see me when I get harsh because I don't talk much. I just tell you 2 words. I told you already. One starts with F, one ends with Y. I have no reason and no desire to debate with you because you are nothing to me. Only my mother can judge me and God. That's it. You're not my mom. Last time I checked, you're not God. So go in peace and mind your business somewhere else. All right, guys, I want to say thank you. And still, I have a prayer for Dave Ace. Dave, you're in my heart. Even sometimes, I know we didn't get along. But I know you're listening. And I want to make you proud. Even we don't going to talk about politics here, but as a human being, I'm trying to continue your creed. Or at least one of your beliefs. Your beliefs was respect each other. That's what it's about. I really believe. And love. After all, I really believe love is the most powerful weapon we have. And if you want to preach to others, do it by leading, by example, not preaching, not judging. Do what you have to do. Lead by example, not being an arrogant prick. Seriously. All right, talk to you next Sunday, God's willing. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't forget, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. And please, if you want to support the show, if you want to support this message of freedom, go to zanna.us, www.zanna.us. Download any of my songs, just 99 cents. It's just not even the price of a coffee, but you really help me to keep the show free. Thank you. Bye. Ciao.